Hey Mohammed, this is Sean. Just checking out your final. Um, just a critique for you. I told you I'd get you. Um, so right off the bat, I would say um, you probably know this already, but it just kind of looks like you stopped animating this thing right around this point. You probably just ran out of time. I know you have the reference for the other guy, so I would animate him just to kind of have some ending. And I would also, you can settle a little more on the guy because, is this media player? Hold on, let me open this in VLC Pro. This is better. You can kind of see this guy's leg freeze up. So I would not extend the leg that far, just so it doesn't freeze, doesn't lock, because it kind of looks like it locks instantly, right on this knee here. And they both kind of stop at the same time. You want to kind of offset the settle as much as you can. If I can show around. Actually, your video probably has it in there. Let me go to your reference. And it's probably visible here. Come on. Oh, it's got like a bounce. Let's do that in VLC. Or no, Keyframe Pro. Okay, check this out. Let's see. Though his legs do kind of overextend and they flop a little, so you see how it's changing position, and it's shaking through its body. Unfortunately, your reference is ending before your animation ends. So one option, because this is kind of at this point for you as an animator, you could cut away, right around here to some other animation piece on your demo reel if you wanted, or you could finish animating it. What I would do, and I do this a lot, is I would just go and film myself like flopping on the ground a few times. I like doing it on grass the most because it's kind of soft, but it's kind of hard at the same time, so it's good reference. Because there's just something happens that just like as bodies kind of flop and settle, it just takes some reference to get it and knowing exactly what to do to make it feel right. Let's see. And it's more obvious if the camera's not moving. I think you did make the right call on having the camera move during the settle, because during this whole time, like, there's no weight on the guy's torso, and then the arm comes around, and it'd be better if it went like straight down, But it just kind of looks like you didn't finish. You got pretty far, and then other stuff you want to take a look at is if you look at the because we did this. Let's see. We did this in class, but if you watch your curves, he kind of goes around and then comes out and down for some reason. So that's 152. You want to try and find this in your animation as much as you can and get it out of there. So curve. So you can just look at your curve and go, oh yeah, there's a big dip there for no reason. Because the whole body's moving over there and then back. It just doesn't, weight-wise, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It's not always the best idea to just go with the smooth curve, but I usually start there and just make everything as smooth and clean as possible. I just deleted it. Because sometimes curves have interesting relationships. So now I fixed the hips, but the rib cage still kind of flops at a strange angle. I think that's actually in the reference. Let's see. I bet you it's kind of smooth here. So if he just kind of flips and goes, kind of, okay. So he kind of goes back, and then his that's a cool pose. I love it. We should make sure we're copying that. Look at that. So yeah, it looks like his back foot, if you just take this line of action through here, and then everything's kind of flowing around. And then I think his other leg is this way or something. But you can see that his weight, all this weight, even though it has come from this direction and it went weird, you can tell that his weight's going to be pulled that way and kind of flow through there. And that's what you're going to try and reproduce here, which is almost right. But I think if you frame step through there, you'll see like the hips pull down a little faster here. You can see like the pull, like there's like a separation on these couple of frames where you see like this, the contrapposto on the hips. You see like these separate, so this is kind of moving this direction, and the hip is like moving further down. So they're kind of, as it's falling, he's kind of going like this and like pulling it one direction. You can kind of just feel like the organicness of that move. And then too, like watch this arm, how it's kind of like fell behind there. Let's see if you're doing that. I think you are doing it actually. Nice. So you're doing the fall, but then it suddenly comes down. You're getting there because you're seeing some of these moves. I think you just want to look at it like more one frame at a time, because the amount of move on this arm is more subtle. The hand is kind of moving up the whole time, but then right before it hits the ground, it's up. Let's see what's happening here. Yeah, so this elbow, I think, stays low, and the hand comes up a little more. Yeah, because you don't even, there's no keys right here. Because the weight of the guy's body comes down. And then this is probably a little bit more up. So, I mean, overall, your animation is looking pretty good. It's just time to get nerdy and just really get into the details in this, and try and get the action to flow as much as possible. Because if you just watch this, kind of squinting a little bit, these guys are super smooth. Even though they're hitting things and it's hitting hard, everything's moving quick and fast and smooth and follow through. And then your animation, I think I can go over here. It just generally kind of feels stiff and wobbly. So, I mean, in general, it is a good animation, so don't get me wrong on being picky. I'm just trying to, like, figure out how to take this guy to the next level. So the land probably stood out to me as the part that needed the most loving. But partly is because this guy stops animating. But if we go from the start here, let's see. So it looks like there's like nothing happening in here. This might have been my play blast. So even if we start, let's say we're starting from frame 10. Let's see what we could do. Okay, so that's that kick reference. Where is that? That's probably, bam. Oh, okay, we don't really see. Okay, angle. Is it that kick? Yeah, it's that kick. So you're sort of starting. Let's go back. I'll go backwards from where your kick impact is. Also, this impact's a lot different. It's hard to see with motion blur, but it looks like he makes contact right here. Oh, okay, the knee looks bent, and then we're sort of making contact at 74, which is right there. Oh, okay, you're kind of matching stuff. I get it. Pretty good. So 74, 62, 59. So you're kind of matching these things. Okay, so he bounces in, steps forward. Oh, that's cool. So much good movement in there. So you're going from 59. He steps down. He runs in inside the punch. The other guy's hand is out, and he's like trying to keep him away. And then the kick goes up and pushes him up. That's why I love reference, because it's so... I think this guy's arm should come out. It feels kind of wobbly. And I'm pretty sure this arm, these two guys' arms kind of touch. Because it kind of looks like this guy's arm is on it. Like you can see a little bit of his hand. And it makes sense that he would just like grab his hand to kind of control his opponent. Yeah, or not. Maybe not. Nope. What is that? That might just be some weird rendering artifact. Nice. Let's see what's going on there. Okay. So yeah, he I think you need to cover more distance. It looks like he's taking some steps here. That would be the biggest. Like, look how far apart these guys are. Even right here, they're still like pretty far. And so he's going like one little step, one big step, and then he follows through. So that will make, if you get some steps in here, yeah, because there's no steps, he just goes down and up. So if you get some steps, you get some momentum, and then this the guy getting kicked, he's actually getting pushed back. So he goes, because it makes this kick feel more powerful, because this guy, he starts to back up because he knows that foot's coming, and he's a good fighter. So he starts to back up, and then he's doing like, how many steps is he going in there? He's doing a jump, and he's taking the hit, and he's catching himself, and he does a little hop. I bet you like right here, both feet are in the air on the guy getting kicked. And he's going like a couple feet. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's going back like 8 feet. It's pretty far. What's going on here? So you got it going on, but the difference is this guy is sort of pushes this guy back, momentum wise. That's a much stronger momentum piece, and I think that's a big part of why your animation is feeling a lot stiffer than your reference, because this guy's kick just feels weak because he's not building up that much force, and then he kind of just slaps it and it hits the thing, and we're not building that much force, and then the force isn't going anywhere. It just kind of stops, and it kind of doesn't make any sense. He's got this giant guy with this giant leg just kind of not doing anything. So that's what I would do before anything else. I mean, if you wanted to rework this and figure it out, and take it to the next level, that's where I'd go with this. It's kind of up to you if you want to call it a day on this and go work on some other project. Because sometimes you just get tired of something and you want to move on. But that's what's missing, is just taking a look at your reference and going, okay, what's happening in my reference that I didn't catch or I didn't notice? Because I don't know if you just consciously made the decision not to have the guy walk and step into the thing, or it kind of looks like this guy, because the momentum's not shifting, he just feels like it's not effective. But I imagine the point was to try and make it feel as powerful and crazy as possible. Because if he goes back and settles, I bet you over here he keeps going forward. He kicks and he doesn't back up. He hops and then he balances, but he's like stepping forward the whole time. And that's the kind of action you want to put. That's the kind of stuff you want to put in like action games. Anyways, you want to make sure there's movement. Like if you watch God of War, Kratos is always like pushing forward through stuff. He usually doesn't back up off stuff. The only time you're going to see Kratos back up is if like a creature hit him and he's playing a hit reaction or something. Because in order to maintain momentum, you have to walk forward. So you wouldn't end up doing this where he like backed up. You'd have him step forward. I think in the guy's reference, because he's taking a big step, he's his foot would be over here, and then he'd step into the action more. So that way his foot would be over here when he kicks, and then he'd balance on the more forward foot, and it wouldn't look like he steps forward and then goes back. That would probably So if you took I would probably go from in here somewhere. It's a cool. I love the spin move on the camera. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, you might even want to have the camera keep going around the guys as he's falling and just animate the rest of it, have it spin all the way around. That's probably what I would do, because the spin feels so dynamic and cool, and you can keep animating this guy. And then I would probably leave all this stuff where it is and move everything from this point earlier over. So that these two guys would end up starting. Well, whoa, I broke it. I'm gonna cheat. You're not supposed to use these, but I'm gonna use them anyway. And when I do this for real, I'd grab the correct controls. So you probably want to start your scene like this. That way, this guy has more space to cover, and then and this guy's more forward, so when he gets kicked, you can have him back up. So then they'll end up kind of already here, and then you can keep all this stuff and just clean it up, do whatever you want to do to make it fancy. Clean up that fall there, animate this guy, and you'll have a cool animation. So yeah, man. Overall, I think you did a good final. I think it's pretty impressive. It's hard to crank through two characters animated, make the relationships work. So yeah, if you keep working on this, let me know. Send it over. I don't mind giving you feedback, even though the class is over. And otherwise, if you're working on some other project, feel free to send that over too. All right, Mohammed. See you later.